What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm gonna be giving you guys some R1 content. This is the 2014 R1. This isn't the bike that I'm gonna be building today on the channel. We're gonna be finishing up pretty much everything with the 2007 Yamaha R1, but this is the 2014. It's not completely done yet, but I'm gonna show you guys in this video right now the first startup of this bike. So I was having a little bit of an issue trying to figure out what was wrong with it, and it wasn't priming. Check that out. This thing sounds so sick. I can't wait for it to be finished. What actually happened was this bike was a theft recovery, and when they tried stealing it, you can see in here, they cut a wire that goes to this relay, and I had to just run a positive in the meantime to get it started up. This bike isn't completely done yet, but I do have in the meantime this white rear wheel on it. Don't know if I'm gonna keep that. This is the one that it came with, and I need to go get straightened if I'm going to, because it's a little bent right here. And let me know if you guys like the black front wheel than the white back one. I figure if I was to run this white back one, I would get the black tape to go around this one, so it looks like, you know, it was meant to be, not like I just strapped that wheel on the back. Let me know down in the comments about that, but let's get inside the shop and start working on this R1. And we're back here inside the nice AC'd shop, and this is the bike that's going underneath the knife today. So I really haven't touched this bike at all since last video, and I was waiting on the front air ram pieces that go, there's like a rubber garment and then a plastic piece that goes up here on the front of the bike that hooks up to those air rams, and I had to order those off of Partzilla, and it took like a month and a half for those to come in. So now that we got those, I have everything for this bike except for an exhaust. I still have that stock exhaust, but hopefully by the end of this video I find an exhaust for it, and this thing is completely 100% and I get to ride it. But what I'm going to be doing right now is making sure this bike starts, because I haven't heard it start since I got it, and I was pretty sure the reason it wasn't starting was because this front wire harness that goes to the coil packs is all broken, because this is the side that the bike fell on. You see, I've got the hole here in the case cover. I've got a new case cover for it. But let's get right into making sure this bike starts. So I'm gonna have to pull up this tank and replace this harness right here. Maybe I don't have to pull this tank up. I might be able to get my hands all the way in here and just unhook this, and then hook the new one in, and hopefully we can get a little startup. I just got this front wiring harness on for the coil packs. It was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I just was able to get my hand in there and pull off all the tabs, slap the new one in. But the battery on this bike is dead, and also there's no oil in it because of this right here. So I'm not going to start it. You hear? Yeah, it's dead. It's not even going to start. Probably shouldn't even start it because there's no oil. But what I'm going to do in the meantime is this oil line down here. See if we'll get some focus. See how that's bent? I got a new one. And then this case cover I need to take off. I already pulled off some of the hardware right here. Alright, I got this oil line in right here. That did not take long at all. Took maybe like 10 minutes to get that done. This is the old one. There's still oil in this bike, that's a good sign. And I also pulled off this case cover right here. And it's actually been like an hour since I filmed that, because I pulled this case cover off. And I'll show you what's up with these case covers. So the shifter rod goes through the back side of this, and there's bearings inside of there. There's two bearings right here, the two bearings, and I had to Dremel them out because you can't get them from the backside and tap them out. So you can see right here, I didn't even damage these bearings. Right there is where the cut hole was, and that's still pretty flat. So what I'm gonna do now, tap them back into this, get this little shifter linkage on. Got that case cover on right there. I hooked up the clutch cable. That's all lined up right. You have to line it up with, there's like a dot on here, then a dot on the rod. And what I did was I started it up for a second, and there was like no oil in the bike, and it's making a loud ticking noise. I only ran it for like maybe like 0.5 seconds. So I took some of these like 10W40s I had laying around in the back. They're like, maybe had a quart in each of them. Filled it up. You can see it's a little overfilled. And let's show you guys a little startup. It's not making the noise no more. There we go. This thing sounds so sick without the mufflers on it, but that's way too loud to be riding it. So I need to find an exhaust for this. But other than that, this engine sounds mechanically like perfect. So that's really good to hear. I was really worried about it when I started up real quick, and it made that awful. I'm pretty sure it was the cam chain that was rattling around there with no oil on it. And yeah, I'm probably gonna let this thing run for a little bit, make sure we got no leaks, and then we're gonna get to doing all the cosmetics. I'm actually surprised this bike starts without the gauge cluster or anything hooked up. So I'm gonna let this run for a little bit, take this stuff out of the trash, and then we'll start working on the front end. Let's actually do a quick little comparison. So we got the Crossplane R1 right here. That thing sounds, if I had to like refer it to a car, I would say that sounds like American Muscle right there. And then we got this. So I got all this stuff squared away right here. This bike needs coolant in it. I was running it for a little bit, and then I realized, dang, this thing's getting really hot. I also have to, I guess, put this air ram on, open up some of these brand new parts, and put these air rams together. This is the one that's already put together. Put it right there. So let's get all this front end stuff put on there and see what it looks like. Dang, check this thing out. I got that whole headlight assembly on. I got my mirrors all secured, windscreen, and the side belly fairing put on properly. This was pretty simple. Everything on this side is good to go. Got the motor mount in there at the top. I had to get a shorter motor mount bolt because there's frame sliders on this bike before. So everything on this side is 100% good to go, and this thing looks so good. I really like the way the air rams are painted on this year bike, and they're not like a cover over top of the actual air ram. But I left this side open because I have to pull off this cover right here, put the chain on this bike, and then figure out what's going on with some of the wiring over around here. And it's leaking a little bit of coolant. So got to figure all that out, put the fairing on, and then this bike should be pretty solid, except I still need the exhaust for it. There, you know, had to go with the red chain. I think this thing looks sick, and I was able to do that without taking off that little cover right there. And I realized something with when I put on these new rear sets is the way this is set up here. It's actually like inverted way, so when I go down, it goes down 5, up 1. So if I switch this over to here, it'll be the opposite. So this bike is leaking coolant, but it's not coming from anywhere here. It's actually coming from underneath the tank. So I'm gonna put on this side fairing. I have to bend this back. And other than that, it should be really simple. Just slap that thing on. Alright guys, sadly this is as far as this bike is going to get for this video because I was going to put on this lever right here and then I realized this lower part of the master cylinder, that's cracked off, so I need to order. I'm just going to end up ordering the whole setup with the reservoir on it because it'll end up being cheaper. It'll still end up being like $80. But I got everything pretty much together on this bike. I need to get a new perch on this side and I'm waiting on the triple tree right here to come in, so I haven't even hooked up this ignition into it because you see that's all grinded down. So I have that ordered, and the only thing I don't have ordered for this bike is an exhaust. So by the time you guys are watching this, if anyone has a cool exhaust for an 07 to 08 Yamaha R1, please hit me up. I will buy it from you guys, but if no one hits me up, I'm just gonna, I got like a stock one figured out that I'm gonna use. Other than that, this bike looks pretty solid. I think I can ride it down the street real quick with the rear brake, just so I can get the thumbnail outside, and then we'll give you guys a quick little bit of B-roll of what this thing looks like finished up. We just got the thumbnail right here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check this thing out, it looks sick. I said it before, I'll say it again. That's America right there, even though it's a Japanese bike. Peace out.